Hey everybody, Sinister Lex here, and today we're answering the question, should you have a contract for your freelance gigs? Before we get into that, remember to rate, comment, subscribe, click that get notification bell. Also, the Sinister Lex website, sinisterlex.com, is back online, and there's an opportunity for you to earn or win, however you want to look at it, $500 to $1,000, and all you have to do is outsmart me. It's on the homepage. Go check it out. If you want to win $500, $1,000, whatever, go there, find that, take action. Now, should you have a contract? The answer is a resounding yes. It doesn't matter if you're on Upwork or some other freelance platform. You should have a contract in place that defines what you will and will not do, what you are and are not responsible for, the scope of the work, and a bunch of other stuff. You should have a professional draft up this contract for you. Have a professional contract made that's tailored for your business. That is going to give you the most solid chance of winning any case that would be against you if it ever went to court or in any other situation. You can come back to this contract and say, here's exactly what we agreed to and what we did not agree to. And this is valuable to you because it avoids a lot of problems whenever you're working with clients, especially business owners. For instance, you might have a client who you've been working with and you're coming to the end of a project, and all of a sudden they want you to start getting on calls with people, their social media person, their salespeople, their whoever, it doesn't matter, them. Maybe they want you to get on live calls with them, but that's not something you agreed to, and that's going to cost more money. And they might get upset if you ask them for more money for that thing which they think should be free, but it shouldn't be free because it costs time, your time. So if you have a contract in place, you can say, hey, we didn't agree to that. That's not something I'm interested in doing. Unless you want to pay me more, then we can move forward with that. If they get upset, it is what it is, but this is what the contract states. And you can come back to that. So if you ever had to go to court over this for whatever reason, you would have a contract clearly defining who is right and wrong in this situation based on what's in the contract. So even though Upwork has their own terms of service, other freelance platforms have their own terms of service, you still need a contract because it's going to save your ass. And one note on that is that it helps to work with clients who are in the same country as you, because it's much harder to enforce a contract with a client who's in a different country than if they're in your country. So keep that in mind. Now, what if you don't have a contract? Let's say you're already working with freelancer or clients and you don't have a contract in place. Are you just screwed? Should you just get bad feedback? Should all these bad things just happen to you? Should you give the client whatever they want? The answer is no. If you're already working with someone, or if you don't like contracts for whatever reason, then you at least should get everything in writing. So you should have a recording of it. If you do calls, make sure those calls are recorded. If you are on Upwork, don't just do video chat all the time. Get them to write stuff in the Upwork chat, because that way you have a logged history of it. So I like to do stuff by email or by Upwork chat whenever possible. Either of those gives me a way to track our conversation history. That way, if a client steps out of line and they start being an asshole, then I can just refer back to that and say, here's what we talked about here, 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 and here. Here's what I said I was going to do. Here's what I said I wasn't going to do. And here's all the things that you said. And if you ever had to go to court over something like this, then you've got a whole history of what was said and how it was said that you can show to a judge or whoever. This is still usable evidence, just so you guys know. As long as you have it in writing, it's usable as evidence in most courts, and they'll consider it. So you don't always have to have a contract, but a contract is better. If you have a contract, any kind of judge is going to look at that contract first, and they're going to say, here's what the contract says, here's what happened, you're right, you're not right, go on your merry way. But otherwise, if you at least have a history of your messaging, you can show, here's where the client became emotional because they didn't like that I didn't want to get on calls for free when that wasn't something that we had ever talked about, and it wasn't something I had ever agreed to do. So even though you didn't not agree to it, that doesn't mean that you're automatically agreeing to it. So just be thinking about that. Have a contract, have a professional draft it up for you, at least buy a solid template if you're not going to hire an attorney or someone to make your contract. And if all else fails, just make sure you have everything in writing, either by chat or by email or recorded calls if you're on a call. That's all I got for this one. Subscribe down below if you want to see more. I'm Sinister Lex, and I will see you next time.